And I walk up, it's this big, fat, bald, muscular guy. I walk in and he goes, what do you want? I said, I want to make an appointment to get a tattoo. He says, what do you want a tattoo of? And I said, this. And he goes, what is that, a puppy, a kitten? And then like one guy in the back goes, it's a pony. And I said, I want that guy to do my tattoo.
Then there, here we go now. Yeehaw! Welcome to Apple Acres. Come on down and meet the family. You got apple cobbler, apple bumpkin, apple turnover, apple pie, little jazz, cousin Brayber, Big Mac, apple bloom, and this here's Granny Smith. Yahoo!
Don't worry, Twilight. I happen to be the fastest Pegasus in the sky. The fastest Pegasus in the sky. The fastest Pegasus in the sky. It's because I'm awesome.
I've been doing voice work for about 6 years now, I guess. I graduated from the Canadian College of Performing Arts and basically got picked up by an agent at this showcase that we did and told me that he thought I would be good at voiceover work. So I went in and did a reading with him. He was confident that my voice capabilities were there, so he started just sending me out to these auditions, and it was pretty nerve-wracking at first. Like, went into a room where all these people knew each other, and I was this outsider, and I didn't really know how to, maneuver around the microphone. I mean, I'd had singing experience, so that was good, but yeah, I just kind of got thrown into it, and my first voiceover role was a character called Slim Pig. He was just this paper-thin pig that would, like, go around the barn and get into adventures. He was like a cutout pig, but all the other animals were regular 3D. I don't know, it was strange. I kind of got hired to do this little boy voice.
So Slim Pig kind of just sounded like this. Hey, little chicken, do you want to go on an adventure today?
And he was just like this little dude. Because I was a role already on the show, I got to play the little chick.
It's kind of sounded like this. Adventure! Oh, adventure!
I got to play the cow. She kind of had this, like, weird voice. Oh! Slim Pig! Please help me! My head is stuck in a fence! Please help me move it! One of my favorite roles, actually, that I ever got was this Warner Brothers cartoon called Coconut Fred's Fruit Salad Island. And it was the sexually confused tomato. He didn't know if he was a fruit or a vegetable. So he was very sensitive, and he performed poetry a lot.
What am I? A fruit or a veggie? Either one could give me a wedgie.
I went into the audition for the new Care Bear series, and they were looking for this new Care Bear called Oopsie Bear, who was this little boy. I guess they got a bunch of men to read for him. And that wasn't working out, so they got me in there, and I just kind of based him on Chris Farley, like the kind of like clumsy guy he plays all the time to like fall.
Oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to mess up the Thunderbolt coaster. Sorry.
I got to play
Boris Booty. He was on this show called Ricky Sprocket. It was about a showbiz kid, and Boris Booty was just an ordinary guy who really liked breakfast cereal.
And then so I think I got kind of pigeonholed to play little boys all the time, because that was like my go-to voice, was the little boy voice. So when I went into audition for My Little Pony, I thought it was obvious that I would read for Spike, the baby dragon. And I just was like, oh, I'll just go to, do my go-to little boy voice.
Twilight, you know I love eating diamonds. Or, he's just like this little guy.
I didn't end up getting cast as Spike, but I got a callback for not Spike, but for Applejack and Rainbow Dash. I just ended up getting both roles, which is pretty crazy. My job is fun. It's cool. It's like, it's get to hang out and do voices for a living. Not too shabby.
Okay, whatever you want.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Ashley. I am at the site of a show we just played with Hey Ocean, and I just had my first brony encounter.
Do you have any voices for us?
Well, I suppose that Applejack's very happy that you came out to Hey Ocean. And Rainbow Dash couldn't be more excited. I'm gonna go watch Den Megan now.
All right.
Peace.
Thank you.
A brony is a fan of the television show My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. And they're usually males from the age bracket of 18 to 30, let's say. The pervert alarm for sure went off in my head when I first heard about it.
I want to very specifically not give a shout out to my bronies tonight.
Now a show you're right in the middle of the normal scale.
Since the reboot of the classic 80s cartoon debuted last fall, it's attracted a massive amount of male viewers.
Combine the words brother and pony.
The audience isn't who you might expect.
Fanboys have taken to creating pony art, posting fan videos on YouTube, and creating blogs dedicated to the show.
Weird fit demographically, but they work together. My point is this!
Bronies have changed the definition of masculinity.
I think it's the end of
civilization.
What's happened is that with the spread of fast access internet, almost the entirety of the media with the fandom is entirely online. It's in a lot of senses a brand new type of fandom.
It's this crazy phenomenon on the web, in the media.
It's kind of inexplicable, really. What happens when a movement puts a lot of new ideas into circulation? It doesn't really make sense.
People are inspired by the environment that surrounds them. The internet is a complicated idea, a set of protocols that has changed everything.
Try to realize our imaginations and the need to retreat to a world of pure fantasy. We exist in a world of illusions.
The true nature of reality beckons from just beyond the horizon.
I got an invitation to BronyCon. Brony, B-R-O-N-Y-C, con, in New York, which is a convention for bronies. It's pretty crazy. Apparently there's a lot of these happening, although this will be the first one that I've been invited to. Hello, my name is Purple Tinker, and I run BronyCon, the world's largest dedicated My Little Pony Friendship is Magic fan event. We are currently in the planning stages of our next event, BronyCon, in January. It will be held in New York City, but something is missing. Miss Ashley Ball. It's me. Would Miss Ball do us the honor of letting us treat her like the star she is for one special weekend? Wow. I guess we'll see.
trained Harley Davidson mechanic. I have built and can build custom motorcycles from scratch. I can weld, I can run a CNC machine, I played college football. Let's see, I was a bodyguard ranch hand for a science fiction writer. I worked as a GM lube guy at a GM dealership. On top of all that, I watched a show for little girls. I'm known as Dusty Cat in the fandom, and I'm known as the manliest brony in the world. If this guy can like a girl's show for what it is, you can too. Every character doesn't have the answers, right? They have to go find the answers. They have to learn from their mistakes. And that's what draws me to My Little Pony, because you have character-driven story where the characters learn something and grow. There's 6 main characters in this show. Twilight Sparkle. Her characterization is fairly easy. Twilight is the intellectual shut-in. Now you have Applejack, who is the hard worker, that pony you can go to. But her problem is she can't let others help her. Fluttershy, too shy for her own good. That's one of her fallacies that makes her a character. Rainbow Dash, my what an ego. She'll never get into the Wonderbolts because the Wonderbolts are a team situation. There's no I in team. Rarity, element of generosity to a fault. She has to get over that. She has to learn from that. And then we get the Pinkie Pie. Hardy animal extraordinaire. Off into left field. All the time. But still, when somebody needs to be picked up, when someone is feeling sad, she's there. Every time. Each individual character is so well-rounded within an archetype of personality. So people can see themselves as a Rainbow Dash, a Rarity, or an Applejack. That is the basis of excellent storytelling. Don't think of it as 6 little ponies in Ponyville. Think of it as 6 friends learning from each other. It just happens to be wrapped up in a package of pastel ponies that's animated well. This is a show for kids. But it doesn't wallow in that point. I'm just a guy who happens to like a TV show. I love My Little Pony. I love what it does. I love the message it sends. And I want to be a part of it, and I want to be able to play in that universe. We're supposed to chug beer, ride motorcycles, be degrading to women, and like explosions. That's what's ingrained in our brains from the minute you're born and put into a blue crib. Well, I like what I like. I don't need society to tell me what I like. And that's all there is to it.
The bad boy's got a green flag. Here we go. Robin McDonald, the old McDonald's out of form.
As Twilight Sparkle would say, we must science this immediately. About a year ago, the brony phenomena sort of fell into our laps, and as soon as I heard about it, I thought somebody needs to study this. Fandom is a term that's used for the community, and in general, people usually look at fandoms with kind of a little bit of a like, these people need to get a life. Well, in fact, actually, where's the term fan come from? Fanatic.
You know, it could be the Carolina Panthers, it could be Star Trek, it could be My Little Pony,
Oprah.
It could be Oprah, it could be anything.
Our bronies ranged from 14 to 57, with the average age was around 21 years of age. Then there's the question of gender. We usually ran around 85% male and 15% female. Some female bronies like to be called bronies, some like to be called Pegasisters.
And we question if that 15% female, how much of those are bronies because they have a brony boyfriend.
Yeah. Bronies score lower in neuroticism. Neuroticism is sort of like a tendency, and I've sort of wrote, it's a tendency to experience negative emotions like anger, anxiety, to worry, to be stressed. And the Bronies have lower scores. So again, that would tend to say this is a group. Now there are going to be depressed Bronies and there are going to be anxious Bronies, but that's very positive. Education level. What we found was around 35% of our Bronies were in high school, while about 62% were in or had completed college. And then one of the biggies, the sexual orientation question, which many people, when they first hear about the Bronies, will say things like, well, is it a bunch of gays and that? 84% of the Bronies will describe themselves as heterosexuals. 1.5% label themselves as homosexuals, and about 10% bisexual, and then around 3 to 4% asexual.
Asexual is based on clinical experience of some people who just simply are not interested in sex.
It's still a puzzle, and I think
it's still a puzzle, and it's a puzzle to us as well. But I think that it's that that society as a whole is becoming less negative in their attitudes toward Bronies.
My name is Mike Bernstein, and I am the broadcast director of Everfree Radio. Everfree Radio is an online radio station and network of programs dedicated and mostly marketed towards the Brony community. I ended up watching it because I thought, okay, clearly this is a phenomenon. I have to understand why. And I watched the first episode, and the first episode is a cliffhanger. It's a two-parter, so I'm like, okay, well, I gotta watch the second part, you know, you gotta see how the beginning story arc ends. And I was like, you know, I got to the end of the second episode, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty decent, it's okay, it's not bad. No, I better watch the third episode to make sure that it's, you know, maintaining that level of quality, and then the fourth, and then the fifth. And by the time I got to the 17th episode, I kind of hung my head in resignation. It's kind of like, damn it, you know, I guess I'm a brony. Oh well, better come to terms with it. 4chan is an image and message board where the brony movement began. Basically back in, I think it was October of 2010. Somebody wrote an article. They were citing My Little Pony Friendship is Magic as showing that companies were micromanaging programs. Well, new cartoon shows are all about merchandising, and so somebody on 4chan went and decided to watch it and said, hey, it's pretty good. And so they made a post about it. Other people started watching it, and they're like, hey, yeah, it's actually pretty good. And it became this kind of like weird phenomenon. They ended up becoming kind of like their own little clan. So more people watched the show to try and figure out, okay, is this just a big joke? And then they started posting images on the boards, and then the moderators of 4chan decided, no, we don't want all these pony images everywhere, so they shut it down. So then they started another one. It became this whole like flurry of online activity. In a sense, 4chan was the start of the brony community. It's the deep depths of shameless internet. Actually, people like to think, okay, bronies, the name bronies came from bros and ponies. That's not where it came from. It came from the B message boards and ponies. So that's how they combined it. It was 4chan B and ponies, so bronies. But I kind of like the bro one better because it feels like it's a little more, you know, hey bro. So that's just me.
So yeah, voiceover work is my job, and I just like love what I do. Love that I get to be a cartoon for a living. But my main passion is music. In Hey Ocean, there's two other members besides myself, Dave Vertesi and David Beckingham. The three of us have been doing this music thing for almost 7 years now. And over the last couple months, we've been feeling the presence of the bronies. Bronies by the dozens have been coming to concerts.
I didn't watch the first episode and then just suddenly get drawn in or anything. I don't want to be mean, but like, I don't care about My Little Pony.
All we do is mess around, but I know that it's love we found.
I think it's kind of difficult for both of them because there's this whole other fan base that's like kind of latching themselves onto our music.
Yeah, it's weird, like 30-year-old dudes liking a little kid's show about female ponies, you know, that fly or whatever. But that said, weird can be really rad and really good, and it's important.
I love people who are genuine and who are like, this is who I am, and that's what I like. I like the bronies for that.
Baby, there's no time to waste. Sing until you have no voice. Ooh, sing because you have no choice. Ooh,
there's nothing that can compare to standing on a stage and singing with an amazing band and some of your best friends. It's what I love more than anything, and it's the dream for sure.
Don't tell me that we've come this far to start again and fall apart. Sing it when you're lost at sea. Love will bring it back to me. Sing until you have no voice. Ooh, sing because you have no choice. Ooh, our love is like a big blue wave. Ooh, 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 ooh.
I discovered Hey Ocean through finding out about Ashley and the other bronies. It's like, oh hey, you know, she's in a band, you know. Wow, really? So you check it out and then you find out it's awesome. Mando Pony is sort of the persona that I developed to release music online based off of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. The show generates so much positivity. It makes so much good happen, and yet it meets such disappointing, like, venom from so many people are so venomous towards it and so hostile and destructive towards it. It just disgusted me and made me so sad. That was why I wrote the song.
But we're a long way from Equestria, long, long way.
I think, you know, saying we're a long way from Equestria is just a way to surmise the fact that, yeah, all things considered, we're so far from this world. Like the characters in the show, they learn, they forgive, they share, and they celebrate friendship and kindness instead of mocking it. And that we are so far from that, but it's getting better. I think it's getting better.
Long way from Equestria, long, long way.
I'm just kind of trying to decide right now to go or not to go. That is the question. And it's just kind of at a crazy time. Like, I'm really busy with work right now and touring with the band. I don't know if I have the energy to go into one of these conventions. I've heard crazy things about conventions. For someone like me who's pretty new in the game, I might not be able to cope with it. I don't know. I didn't really expect to have fans per se in the voice work that I do, and it's pretty crazy that I do. I'm nervous. I'm definitely nervous. God, I don't know, something about it just gives me kind of an uneasy feeling. But I'm just gonna go for it. You gotta do things that scare you in life, and I think this is gonna be a really, really weird and wonderful opportunity, so. We're gonna do it. I'm gonna go to BronyCon.
BronyCon is a convention for bronies fans of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, or any generation of My Little Pony, to come together and just share their interests, art, music, or just the show itself. There are people flying in from California, flying in from Europe, because Ashley Ball will be at BronyCon.
Voice actresses, in a sense, are the stars of the show because they are the voices of the characters people love.
You know, to hear some of the bronies talk about rarity, oh, they would love to meet rarity.
The role in the community is they are the biggest celebrities. They're the biggest draw to these conventions because people want to have that kind of like one-on-one with the closest thing there is to the characters.
I think we have near on 1,000 pre-registered, and we have the capability to let people pay at the door. We're looking at basically hitting fire code limits for the convention.
Military bronies are just people who enjoy the show and are in the military. And it can be from the extent of somebody who watches the show regularly and maybe has a few pieces of art, and other people who liked the whole thing.
As a Mark 46 machine gun, it's a semi-auto version, but shoots 223 ammo. My friends were making fun of me for being a brony for years, and so I told them what could be more manly than going around with all the friends with the machine guns and all the tactical gear and everything else and go out with brony gear.
The definition of a man is a human male with an X and a Y chromosome. That's it. It's as simple as it really gets.
My name is Brian Mischke. I'm predominantly an artist by hobby and everything like that. It's been pretty much my one and only real passion. And I have a long-time history, 6 years of service in the National Guard, the Army National Guard, so I think that pretty much is the gist of who I am. When I was 16, I was in school still. I dropped out, about 16 and a half. 17, on my birthday, I joined the military. I swore in that day, my recruiter got me. And at 18, I was in Iraq. Best allegory I can possibly use to describe Iraq came recently when I saw the movie Tron. And it's very interesting because basically when you go to the world of Tron, everything is really barren, everything's really organized. It's just kind of, it feels real, but it's not real and devoid of real life. It just feels like that. Everything's devoid of life. That's the desert, and it was desert for me when I was down there. Every tough experience is only gratifying after the experience. I guess I would say that last 5 months in Iraq was probably one of the hardest experiences I had, if not the hardest. Actually, you know, to be honest, the hardest actually came after that. I went through probably a really good year and a half of pretty deep depression after I got back from Iraq. For some reason, I don't know why I felt this way, and I still can't put a finger on it, but I just felt a tremendous amount of shame after a while, just for everything, even for the military maybe. I don't cry, I don't. And I remember this one time I just went for a walk, and so many things are going on, and I just broke down and called my mom, and I cried for like 3 minutes, and it's kind of getting me a little emotional right now, but like I just let it all out. I talked about everything that was affecting me, and I don't really talk about those things. Life was just so much simpler when you're out in the desert. Everything was planned out for you and everything. Like now you're back in the real world trying to figure it out. Art stopped doing for me what it used to do for me. I just kind of stopped drawing altogether. Didn't really see the point in it. Didn't really make me money. Didn't really make me feel happy. Didn't really feel like I had a purpose anymore in that area. And then I discovered ponies, I discovered a reason to draw again. Now here I am making art again, so. Don't underestimate the things that make you happy, you know. If drawing ponies makes you happy, there's no reason to feel bad about that. Yeah, I've been drawing this, or I guess I drew this drawing. It's a pretty detailed drawing. This drawing took me probably about a week. It's the first drawing I've drawn in a very, very long time. It was kind of the the catalyst to me getting back into artwork after probably about a year and a half hiatus. Princess Celestia is amazing. Princess Celestia rules over the kingdom, and she raises the sun, and she is like a surrogate mother to Twilight Sparkle, which is the main character of the show. Of all the characters on that show, that's the one I come to admire the most. She's lived 1,000 years, and it feels like it. Like she's just kind of seen it all, and just knows what to say at the right time. Any adult who has really gone through it all and has been really thoughtful and really caring and everything like that is going to be a Princess Celestia. You know what I mean? Your mother should be a Princess Celestia, in my opinion. Nicole Oliver, which is the voice actress of Princess Celestia, is going to be doing a panel at BronyCon, and I really want to give this image to her, this drawing that I made of her character. I think it's really important that I give it to her because I really want her to know that she's able to change lives. It's really important to me. I really need her to know that, and just thank her for being a part of it. And I hope it really goes over well.
My name is Fee. I'm a blog author and I'm an admin on Equestria Daily, which is the major pony news blog and media hub for the fandom, the Brony fandom. Basically, we do what we think people are interested in seeing. Basically, more or less, that turns into a fan hub, because most of what we do is post things that other people make that we think are cool. We also like to get interviews with voice actors and writers and directors and stuff like that, and talk to them about their experiences. If anything happens, like if Hasbro releases a new toy, or there's an announcement, or anything at all like that, we report on it as soon as we possibly can. Any speculations, any rumors, any news at all. Like a gossip column with a newspaper stuck on with a stapler. Anytime anything comes out related to the show that could produce fan work, within like 3 hours you have like professionally made songs, and it's absurd. It's amazing and wonderful, and I can't get over it. When we were first starting, we made a huge deal out of getting like 1,000 page views. And then like 10,000 was like, oh my gosh, amazing. And that took like months to hit. And then started climbing up, getting 100,000, 200,000, skipped over 300,000 because it was going too fast. Got to 500,000 and was like, oh yeah, wow, we're really making it. Then 1 million happened in the blink of an eye, and now we're at close to 260-something million views, and we hit 1 million more every month, or more than 1 million. It's like 2 or 3 million a month. And it's just like, hi, remember when 1,000 was a big deal? Like, yeah. Well, I guess the ideal goal would just to be like an animation media outlet. To just have it all in one place, and then sort of be the CNN of silly cartoons.
I decided that I needed a break. I needed to get away from the city. And one of my best friends lives in Salt Spring, and she invited me and a bunch of my really close friends. I'm working a lot. I'm doing a lot of series. I'm doing a lot of stuff with the band. And it's important, I think, to get away from it all for a little while and just kind of escape.
Apple fritters, apple rhubarb pie, apple turnover.
I feel like I'm myself right now in the truest form. Some people can just like really hone in on that. They just like know you so well. They just bring you back to yourself. And it's important to have those people in your life.
My name is Stephen Carver, but I go by the name of Saberspark online. I have a channel on YouTube called Saberspark, and I do top 10 lists, I do reviews, I do shows where I talk about bronies and like how they act in the fandom, and just things like that. I am somewhat of a sociologist, and that was something I studied a lot in college, and that's where my brony, interest really peaked. Okay, there's a term we use in sociology called the pink blue syndrome. When a boy or a girl is born, they're automatically given a little pink cap or a blue cap to say you're a boy, you're a girl. Culture's designed around that, where guys play sports, girls play with their dollhouses. Guys are tough, girls cry. Take, for example, My Little Pony. This toy has been designed to be sold to little girls. That's the weird thing about it is guys love the show, and they want to actually buy merchandise. You have an audience that is younger girls who still love the show My Little Pony, and then older guys. And you have both of those people showing up in the same aisle that's designed for little girls, so it's kind of a bizarre, gender roles conflict. Just me staying in this aisle to begin with, there might be a mom and her daughter walking by and look down this aisle and see an older guy looking through pony toys. It's programmed in their mind to jump to the worst case scenario, which might be, oh, he's a pedophile, or he's a big old man-child, or something's wrong with him. The fact that Brony's becoming more brave and going to the pink aisle buying pony toys is a sign that they're not as afraid to say that, hey, I'm a dude and I like My Little Pony. A guy can, like pink stuff, and a girl can like blue stuff. And once we get over that hurdle, we can finally start making some progress, as in girls can do fireman job and be an astronaut and be a police officer, and guys could maybe be a teacher for elementary kids or be a nurse. That's fine.
At first, there's a bit of a shock factor to it, because it's My Little Pony. It's got this huge stigma of being pink and girly and just poorly executed 20-minute commercials. And then it turns out to be really exceptionally well crafted.
I think it's a unique kids show, and that it has a lot of adult references. I mean, nods to Star Wars, nods to the Brady Bunch, to Benny Hill, to just all sorts of media that a 7-year-old girl would have no idea about.
There are many of them that are in it for the guidance function. Many more are in it for the social function. Take a look at the 20th century. You're going to see that after every catastrophic and chaotic time in history, you're going to see something in reaction. The Roaring Twenties were a reaction to World War I. The Beatniks and the Bohemian generation were a reaction to World War II. You had the Korean War, but Vietnam came really quickly. And what did you have during that but the hippie movement? Don't trust anyone over 30. Then you get into 9/11, and I think that 10 years later, this is what we're seeing. We're tired of all the violence. We're tired of the terrorism. We're tired of worrying about this. Let's get to something that is tolerant, friendly. We can escape into it. Close your eyes and watch My Little Pony. It's all about conflict resolution. It has a positive message, and not only that, but it's entertaining.
We are currently at the Santa Monica Pier, enjoying a brony meetup for SoCal Bronies. What's up?
The SoCal Bronies meetups, they're just a bunch of people that get together that like My Little Pony. Right now we're 800 strong. We put on small events that'll be spur of the moment. They'll just be hanging at people's houses, or they'll be like, hey, let's go to In-N-Out at 2 o'clock in the morning, and boom, 8 people will be there because they're local. Or we'll plan big, huge events like our Grand Galloping Gala last Friday, which was 250 people. It's just a bunch of people that want to hang out and have fun and get to know each other. So
yeah, there's a website that we can go on. It's called meetup.com, and from there are different groups and stuff that you can go to, and one of the groups is SoCal Bronies.
I literally post it up on the boards, and people take interest and they want to do it, and they're excited to hang out with each other.
SoCal what? SoCal Bronies! 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 Bronies!
Well, I'm Liam James O'Donnell Linhan III. You must know my full name.
I am actually in high school. I'm one of the youngest people here, surprisingly. I'm only 17. But regardless, these are my people. Join in!
You all share its magic with me. Big adventures, tons of fun. A beautiful heart, faithful and strong. Sharing kindness is an easy feat, and magic makes it all complete. Now, My Little Pony, you know you're all my very best friends. SoCal, 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 SoCal.
I have this one friend who's been my best friend since 2nd grade. Since the very minute I told him I was a brony, he's made fun of me non-stop, just never ending. And about maybe a month ago, I forced him to watch one episode, and he's just in love with it instantly.
In the grade school I went to was tiny. There were 32 kids in my graduating class, which made it almost impossible to fit in if you weren't the mold that everybody wanted you to conform to. And I wasn't.
Like last year, at the end of, or towards the end of the year, we had really started getting together as a group of friends who were all into the show. And we decided that we wanted to start a club.
So we got our friend who is really good at drawing vectors on the computer like this, and he designed the shirt for us. And so you have this harmony spelled out with elements of the periodic table, and it's kind of a pun because the strongest force in the show is the elements of harmony, and so that's kind of a pun. And then he drew out the vector, and we all bought the shirts.
A brony? No, I've never heard of one.
If you really like My Little Pony, could be something for you there, I guess.
It's like adult comedy. No?
There's people into weirder stuff than that.
That's pretty random.
People should be growing up around now.
That's pretty odd.
No, which one of you guys created that adorable logo with the Northwestern N and Twilight Sparkle? Was that you?
That's me.
I like the idea that Twilight Sparkle should be our official mascot because A, she's nerdy and Northwestern is legendarily nerdy, and B, she's purple and Northwestern is purple. So I think that we really do have to accept that Twilight Sparkle is our mascot.
They have like a place where they put like local meetups for different universities across the world even, and I saw one for Northwestern. I was like, wow, there are actually other bronies at Northwestern. That's cool. Let's see what's out there, and I joined the group.
We usually meet like about every 2 weeks, catch the new episode, maybe watch a few other episodes.
Brings people together, makes friendships, appropriately, I suppose. And I guess it is kind of cool that a show, so ostensibly about friendship is, creating friendships in the real world.
Yeah. Big part of any community isn't just the show, but reacting to the show and being able to share your first reactions on those episodes and whatever else you might find online. And that's just really the beginning of what we've been doing, and it's like parties and games and food and fun, all this stuff.
There seems to be this undercurrent to most of the things that's reported or written about us, where 2/3 of the time, 3/4 of the time has to be spent reassuring people that we're not insane. and that's somewhat, well, we may be insane, but not criminally insane, I should put it. Northwestern is a place where fraternities are actually really important. When I came to Northwestern, I swore I was never going to join a fraternity.
The whole fraternity aspect kind of puts the whole bro and brony. I mean, it's all about the community.
You can share it with other people, and that's, the magic of being a brony.
should be like a book about packing a suitcase. Don't brony come. Yeah, it's exciting. Is it? What am I doing? I'm getting my Rainbow Dash full costume shipped to me tomorrow, actually. So it'll be here in the morning. Just kidding, I'm not gonna do that. To be honest, I don't know what the convention is gonna be like. I kind of have an idea, but yeah, I'm not totally sure. Like, these people could be really scary. Maybe I should be packing bear maze or something. But I did have a stalker a little while ago. I believe it was a male, called me with a vocoder thing, a distortion on his voice, so it sounded really low and scary, kind of like the Scream voice, like, hello, Sydney, are you alone in the house? That kind of thing, but like really low. And yeah, just asked me what I was wearing and what I was doing that night. And yeah, it was a little bit weird, just kind of invading your privacy. It's a weird feeling, but nothing came of it. People were like, you should call the police, you should do this and that, and I just kind of let it go. Bronies were not on the radar at this time. The bronies that I've met so far have been really nice. They're really enthusiastic about the show, and it's definitely going to be interesting to be in a room full of just bronies. Maybe I'll find my soulmate. Oh, man.
You know, my whole philosophy in life is, you know, do what it takes to be happy as long as you don't hurt anybody else, you know. And some people call me a big kid. You know, me and my wife, we're just big kids and we're happy. You know, I own my own house, but I love video games. I have Transformers, My Little Ponies. We like to do things that make us smile, you know. I'm not really worried about, you know, what she'll think of us. Like, she's being brought up in all this. We just want to bring them up with this happy, you can like anything. It doesn't matter if you're a child, an adult, a girl, a boy. If it makes you happy, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you just do it. And if that makes people uncomfortable, that's their issues that they have to work out. Because if you're walking down the street smiling, ponies on your shirt, nothing can hurt you.
It has such a positive message, and it's great at appealing to every end of the spectrum, both kids and adults alike. There's no bad this show could bring.
We had a particularly bad thunderstorm maybe about a month or so ago. The next morning, she told me, she said, Daddy, there was a big thunderstorm and it was really loud and I got scared, I fell off my bed, and I said, Ariana, why didn't you come and wake us up? And then she told me, what I'll never forget, she said, oh, well, Daddy, Pinkie Pie came out of my TV and told me to giggle at the ghosties. Pinkie Pie taught her to deal with these fears. You know, it's not about loving a little girl show, it's about loving these messages. And quite frankly, if all these people are following this show, which has these very strong happiness morals, you know, be kind to your friends, always be honest, like, this is all good stuff. And people are following this.
My real name is Martin. The name that I go about online is Rommel. I helped co-found a group by the name of Bronys for Good. It's a solidarity and support organization, not a charity organization, because we haven't filed our 501c3 and we don't plan to. So Bronys for Good, as an organization within the Brony community, has raised $80,000 to $85,000 US, and that has gone to the Children's Cancer Association and to Your Siblings, which had 3 different projects that we helped fully fund. The first one was a clinic in Uganda. The second one was a sustainable village in Burundi. And the third one was the expansion of an orphanage in Uganda. Bronys for Good definitely really shows that, you know, you can take what this fandom has and apply it to a very altruistic purpose. Bronys for Good really hammers on the social change, on the helping others part. It's not just a good thing for America, it's a good thing for the world. The world needs it. We need to get out of this sense that that everything's individually done and that the world is not subject to change, because it is subject to change. And bronies are making that happen.
20% cooler.
20% cooler.
20% cooler. Needs to be about 20% cooler.
So I guess in one of the episodes, Rainbow Dash talks about something being 20% cooler. I'm not even sure what she was referring to, but the Bronies found that line, I guess, and found it really entertaining, or there was something about it that they latched onto.
I mean, it's just an awesome phrase. It's just, who says 20% cooler? It's just, how do you make a percentile out of cooler?
There's like shirts I've seen with shirts that say, make it 20% cooler, or like, people always write on our YouTube page for Hey Ocean, like, this band is 20% cooler, or whatever, like.
So, you know, this like 20% cooler, or, you know, brohoof, you know, those are all signals that groups, fandoms use to recognize, we've got another.
Yeah, it just became this thing. 20%, not that much cooler.
Sometimes people are puzzled, and if people are puzzled, hey, it's a chance to spread the word.
It needs to be 20% cooler.
20% cooler.
20% cooler!
Like 20% cooler, seriously.
20% cooler.
20% cooler! No, baby, it needs to be about 20% cooler.
I am a brony. I am a brony. Like, it's not like an unsure thing. It's not like I watch the show, I look at the art, I read some of the fanfics, but most of all, like, beyond any of that, I listen to the music. I'm Silverhound. All I've done is DJ pony parties. I make music.
It's Silverhound. Silverhound in the mix.
I used to wonder what friendship could be, until you all shared its magic with me. Big adventure, tons of fun, a beautiful heart, faithful and strong. Sharing kindness, an easy feat, and magic makes it all complete to have.
I just do it. It just, whether that's because of a result of my creativity or the show's creativity or both working together as one, I don't know.
My little pony, my little pony.
This fandom has some good music, better than anything on the radio now. I find it a great pleasure to sample a lot of the stuff from the show. I just have a lot of fun with it. It's pretty rewarding. As of right now, I have recently hit 1 million views on YouTube. I have 1,000 followers on Twitter. I'm reaching 2,000 on SoundCloud. I just said, you know what? I'm gonna sell this and see how much money it gets. And it got a nice little piece of change. You know, I just needed some money for college, and I'll be taking calculus next year. The pony music really helped me to afford that. You know, I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, dirty. And, you know, growing up here wasn't the best of paradises, but, you know, survived. Growing up with that mentality, I just kind of took that into my music, you know. You know, as long as I'm alive, as long as this laptop is on, you know, nothing's gonna stop me, you know.
What makes America exceptional are the bonds that hold together the most diverse nation on earth. The belief that our destiny is shared. The idea that if you're willing to work hard, it doesn't matter who you are, or where you come from, or what you look like, or where you love. It doesn't matter whether you're black or white, or Hispanic, or Asian, or Native American, or young or old, or rich or poor, able, disabled, gay or straight. You can make it here in America if you're willing to try.
You ain't a man unless you're watching My Little Pony, son, okay? You know what I do? When I get done the gym, I go home, I have my protein shake, I put on my Comcast DVR, and I sit down with a big bowl of cereal and watch My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. You know why? Because it fills my testosterone up so I can go back to the gym again and just start pumping it out and get bigger and bigger and bigger, son. Yeah, so you gotta get... I like being strong. Like, one thing I really like is just, when I was a kid, being picked on and bullied, like being like helpless to the fact that someone's pushing you around, I hate that feeling. So the fact that I'm stronger and I'm taking classes to defend myself, not only can I defend myself, but I can defend my friends and I can defend like family if anyone's a jerk. So that's what I really get out of it. Like, each time I'm stronger than I was yesterday. If you know me, I'm a very huge Dragon Ball Z fan, and that show just inspired me so much as a kid. So just being like them is what I idolized, but I was fat and lazy as a kid. You know, a bunch of people, they always see shows and they're like, man, that would be so cool to be like them. Go back to eating their diet soda and cookies and stuff like that. And then that's how I used to be. Then I found some friends in high school who had a mutual interest in weightlifting, and they took me in and showed me the raps. And I was just like, hey, I'm gonna weightlift, but I'm still a nerdy person inside. Bronies aren't like the most physically active people, as I've seen in the BronyCon, but that's not a bad thing. If that's their choice, then okay. But I just want to show them like, hey, if you guys want to feel healthier and more confident, then I can help you out with that. So I would just upload a fitness video every now and then. I just want to show you, you can still like the show and just be in shape, because I feel like when you're in shape, you're just a lot more confident, you feel better about yourself, you look better, everything just falls around you. It just falls into place. Everything just it's just awesome.
One day, Patrick and I was getting ready to leave the office, and Patrick said, by the way, Marcia, have you ever heard of a brony? I said, a what? A brony. And he said, Will told me that I'm a brony.
He said to me, Dad, I'm drawing again. And I went, all right, Will, you know, that's great, because he's very artistic. And I said, so what are you drawing? And he got real quiet. And I said, Will, what are you drawing? And he says, well, have you heard of My Little Pony?
I'm Will. I'm a senior in high school. I guess I'm pretty normal, I suppose. Thankfully, knowing my dad, I was sort of already expecting, you know, he wasn't gonna like freak out and kick me out of the house or anything. But when I first told him, you know, he was a little hesitant. He was like, what? The way I told him is that I was drawing again, you know. He got all excited and he's like, well, what have you been drawing? And I was like, well, this is gonna sound really weird, but I've been drawing like ponies. And he's like, you mean like horses and stuff? And I'm like, no, like the cartoon, like My Little Pony. You know, my dad knows only about like, you know, the old stuff. So he kind of was like, what? So I started telling him about it, you know. I was like, oh, it's the new show and everything. And so, you know, my dad was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then the thing that really stood up to him is right when I said, you know, there's a lot of people who watch that. I saw my dad, he was like, oh. So, you know, that was my dad going off in a little psychologist mode, you know. So my dad definitely was okay with it.
So we got picked up at the airport, and it really wasn't what I expected. There was a line of bronies all in matching t-shirts, and one of them had a Rainbow Dash sign. That's how I knew it was for sure the brony convention people. They were really, really enthusiastic about being bronies and about just the whole pony fandom situation in general. So yeah, it's gonna be a trip. It's gonna be really crazy tomorrow, I think.
So I set out
in the big city, Manhattan, the most cosmopolitan.
We're here right now in Manhattan. Oh my god, that's probably why they're doing this here. So it's the night before the conference, the big BronyCon tomorrow. Just got to the hotel, scattered things around. And, ooh, I'm doing a bit of brony research. There's some things that I don't know about the world of bronies. I guess I'm just a bit, I'm maybe a little worried that they're gonna ask me some, like, crazy questions about the equestrian world that the ponies live in that I'm not gonna know the answers to. Which I don't really need to, but I feel like I should. I think I'm definitely going to get asked to do a lot of pony voices tomorrow.
It needs to be about 20% cooler.
Okay, that'll be my go-to line for tomorrow.
It needs to be about 20% cooler. Bronies, you're gonna have to work on your cool factor.
So weird. Rainbow Dash Sparta mix. Oh, this is gonna be good. Let's try this. It's a whole, like, techno remix made from that one line that I say. Who is behind all of this? The bronies. They're behind it. Who makes these videos? Oh man. Okay, I'm over it. Let's go get pizza.
Time step, Times Square.
It's all about friendship.
Your heart beat will fall, and I will cry until you wake up.
Life is a culmination of mistakes that you've learned from. And pain is a good teacher. You can't believe you're gonna fail. You know, those people who are, if you ever talk to those people who are like really rich and really successful, failure never even occurs to them. It never occurs to them that they can fail at what they're doing. That's almost like a beautiful thing. That ain't me though. To me, life's the experience. You need to try and become a better version of yourself every day. I'm not saying you need to change, you need to become a different person, just a better version of yourself. I just think that if once you stop working on yourself, the only way you have to go is down from there. They say people fear what they don't understand. And maybe I just have a lot of fears. And I just need to understand to feel secure in life. Like I know I'm a different kind of person. Like I've gone through life just not fitting in, everything has always kind of been a one-size-fits-all society, formula that I was always outside of. But you gotta know what helps you, and I feel like, I had a lot of crap in my life, but I don't feel like I'm any worse for it at all. And I love my life. That people regret the things they don't do. You only regret the things you don't do. And I don't have a lot of regrets because I go after. I'm not a don't do kind of person. And I think that's the only way to live. But maybe most people aren't like me. Maybe most people aren't willing to just, willing to go on that everlasting quest.
we are on our way to BronyCon. It is 9:30. I think it might be a little after 9:30. We're a little late. It's an exciting time. All right, BronyCon, here we go.
What's your favorite episode?
The first episode was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, just Brian.
This is Brian, just Brian.
How you doing?
I'm really sorry you guys are going to hate me for this, but I haven't drawn in a year. And because of fun, this is the first thing I've drawn in a year. Show it to the crowd. Show it. Brian, show it to the camera.
It's a beautiful picture of Princess Celestia.
There you go.
Forget you. I can eat all these apples.
He goes, what is that, a puppy, a kitten? And then like one guy in the back goes, it's a pony. And I said, I want that guy to do my tattoo.
I feel like my life is sort of changing in a way, like not totally, but just there's a lot of people out there that really love these characters, and like I'm by no means like in charge of what they say and do on the show, but I'm giving you life. I'm giving them, you know, a voice. Presents! Yay! It's Applejack and Rainbow Dash singing together. And looks like they're recording a pony script. Dear Ashley, thank you for bringing an edge to My Little Pony. You rock. A conch shell. Piggy's got the conch. And oh, with a note inside of it. Your new shell phone. I have an incoming call for a Miss Atlantic Ocean. She wants to say hello. Will you accept? Hello? Yeah, I guess I feel like I'm a part of something. I'm a part of this movement. Like, I'm not a brony, but I'm a part of these people's lives because I voice these characters. Yeah, before I left for this convention, I really wasn't sure what I was getting myself into. I was a little nervous. I wasn't quite sure what to expect and who these people were, like who are bronies. I'd had a couple interactions in the past, but not at this capacity at all. To get this response from any group of people is incredible, and it just happens to be that this particular group of people are mostly grown men who are doing this series about girl ponies, which is pretty bizarre when you think about it, but at the same time they're not doing anything wrong.
And they found each other. And I think it's an honor to be part of that.
Yeah, it's the beginning of something. It could fizzle out. Things like this have happened before. There's a big rising tide, there's a force, and then it doesn't go anywhere because nothing picks up the torch. And I really hope that something comes along that will do that, because this is not self-sustaining. It can't carry on forever. But it has so much potential to just shape the way that we think about things and make it be like, oh, well, maybe it's just if something is good that we can like it.
People like to think that it's just a TV show. You know, it's not that big of a deal. And at the end of the day, maybe that's all it is. You know, it's just a small footprint in history. But so many people's lives have been bettered by it.
I think the best part about being a brony is that it just really is, you know, like it's more than a fandom, it's more than a community. It really is like a big family.
It's not about My Little Pony, it's about friendship is magic, you know what I mean? And about that sense of solidarity, a sense of community, and all those different things that really bring people together under a really wonderful umbrella.
Just not cynical, that it's just this positive oasis in a sea of sarcasm and cynicism in modern society. The characters are well developed. They try to accomplish goals. If they fail, they learn from their mistakes. They move on. It doesn't become this big, you know, ironic to do.
Give bronies the benefit of the doubt that they're all good people that like a kid's show for what it is. They aren't weird, deviant, you know, people. All they are people who like a cartoon show. That's it.
You've noticed how big the fan base has gotten so far. My question is, how much bigger do you think it's gonna get, and for how long?
As long as My Little Pony exists, there will be bronies.
Left me destroyed when he cut me like a saw with his back and forth, and I remind you of someone you loved when you were young. She tossed you like a stone into the ocean. We thought we'd never dance again, so scared of second chances, but now there's something happening. You make me wanna dance, you make me wanna move.
the feeling that I went out last night. I'm sticking in for the rest of my life. No more temptations walk in front of my eyes. I'm turning round and living inside. Living in